Hey guys, Miss Jen from the Discovery Museum, and today we are doing some kitchen science. We are celebrating Raisin Oatmeal Day, so I happen to have some oatmeal and some raisins, and we are going to be doing a little bit of baking. Now, baking is a bit of a science because you are mixing certain things together and hoping for a good chemical reaction, something that tastes good. So we are going to be making Ranger cookies today. So Ranger cookies are a little bit healthier of an option. Now they are a cookie, so that doesn't make them health food, but it is a healthier cookie. So it has oatmeal in it. It also has raisins in it, which both of them are very healthy foods for you. And it also has coconut in it. And I have chosen to add some walnuts to go along with it, to add in with my raisins. That way I'm adding a couple additional healthy things to make my cookies pretty awesome. Now, they're Ranger cookies because it's basically what you would take if you were going to go hiking. So think about what you would put in your trail mix, and then you can add that into these cookies, which is kind of neat. So you can add, maybe you want to add some other dried fruit like cranberries or cherries to your raisins. You can add the walnuts, you can add chocolate chips, or M&Ms, anything that you might put in your trail mix, you can add into these cookies. It's pretty cool. So, but you have to add, you can't just have trail mix in your cookies, but you can kind of consider them trail mix cookies. Now, I have a lot of ingredients, so I'm going to go through them really quickly. So I have quite a lot of ingredients, so I'm going to show them to you really quick. I have 1 stick of butter, 1/2 cup white sugar, 1/2 cup brown sugar, and I used a spoon to pack it in there. I have a teaspoon of vanilla. I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, an egg. I have my raisins, and I also tossed some walnuts in there. I have coconut. I have 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup, and then 1 1/4 cups flour. And of course, I have the other tool. For my flour, I scooped it in and then I leveled it off with a knife. And I also have a spoon, a spatula, and my mixer. For you. But before we get cooking, some serious things you need to know. Your hands need to be super clean. So no licking while you're baking, okay? You want to make sure you wash your hands before you even get started. 20 seconds with soap, warm water, wash your hands. I've already done that. The other thing I've also done is put on an apron. If you don't have an apron, that's okay. Just get one of those shirts that you would maybe use for your paint smocks, okay? So if it gets a little bit dirty, okay, no problem. Take it off, toss it in the wash. So I'm using an apron today, and I've already washed my hands. The other thing you need to do before you even get started, make sure you have all your ingredients and turn on your oven. And my oven is heating to 350 degrees, and I also got a pan ready to put my cookies on when I've got the dough ready, okay? So let's get started. I have my recipe right here. Got my oven heating. I'm going to put my butter in first. So I've got my butter in. I'm going to mix it a little bit really quickly. Okay. Now I'm adding my white sugar and my brown sugar. Comes out in a big old clump. I've got my baking powder and my baking soda. Now these ingredients will help my cookies rise. They help it puff up. Now you have to add some things to it to get them to puff up. So that's why we add the egg. Ooh, not the vanilla yet though. So I'm going to mix this up just a smidge. So once that's mixed in, I'm going to add my egg. egg and my vanilla. Now, I have been baking in the kitchen since I was a kid, and I used to bake with my mom, and it was a lot of fun. You learn how to do measurements, you learn a little bit of math. If you want to double the recipe, you need to learn how to add fractions. So it's a great experience for anybody. It does take patience to bake with a kid. Kids, it does take patience to bake with an adult. But you can have some really awesome food and you come away with some really great memories. Now, I've got my eggs and my vanilla, mixing some more. Alright, at this point you should notice that your batter is getting nice and smooth and creamy. Now we're going to add the chunky stuff. So at this point, you're going to mix in your flour. And you may not be able to mix it all with your beater. So that's okay. You may have to use your muscles, use those. Alright, my mom told me never to lick the beaters, so I'm going to set them aside. Now, I think the real reason why she never wanted me to lick the beaters is because she wanted me to leave some cookie dough for the cookies. But it's also not necessarily healthy. It could give you a bellyache. So now that my dough looks like this, it's definitely not going to fall out of the container. This is when you are going to mix in your coconut, your oatmeal, and your raisins, and anything else that you want in there. So I'm going to mix until it's all incorporated, until it's all sort of equally distributed. So I have a little bit of raisins in every little scoop and a little bit of oatmeal in every little scoop. And then I'm going to portion it out onto my pan. Now, I have placed some parchment paper on my pan, but you don't need to. You don't need to grease it or anything like that. Just plop the cookies onto your pan. I have found that my pan works better if I have parchment on it. So, using those muscles, getting this cookie dough all mixed, making sure all the oatmeal gets mixed in. Got some stubborn oatmeal. So I found out while doing some research for this that oatmeal was considered in America to be food meant for horses and cows and sheep, but not for people. So in early America, they did not believe that you would want to feed this to the ordinary person. However, when other immigrants came over to America, and they were like, guys, we eat this all the time. Let me show you how to make it. They started making it into recipes, and people were like, well, this really tastes good. And then it turned out, not only does it taste good, but it's good for your heart, it's good for your health. So people started changing their minds. So I've got my pan ready. I have a scooper ready. And you can use a spoon. You can use a scooper like I have. A scoops a little bit and then plops it out. You can roll it in a ball with your hands. I mean, depends on how messy you want to get. But you're going to scoop some out onto your tray, and then you're going to pop them in the oven. You're going to have to wait anywhere between 8 and 10 minutes for this to, for them to cook so that they're ready. But then once they're ready, they are super delicious with a glass of milk. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You can try them out. But I do recommend them. I think they taste awesome, and they are the perfect way to celebrate Oatmeal Raisin Day. Thanks for baking with me.